Good morning, everyone. Do you remember what all things we had learned in the last class? Which theory we had discussed? Anyone? Tom?
The valence shell electron pair repulsion theory.
Yeah, VSEPR theory, otherwise valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, right? We have completed this theory, and based on this theory, we had divided the molecules into two categories: molecules with central atom having no lone pair, then molecules with central atom having lone pair. Based on the presence of this lone pair, they have different geometrical shapes. There will be deviations from their actual shapes and bond angles, right? Then next, we are moving to another theory. Before that, we can just recall the points about the previous theories. Okay, that is Lewis approach. That means Lewis structure. Then next one is VSEPR theory, right? Just 1 minute. Okay. So this Lewis approach, it helps in writing the structure of molecules, but it fails to explain the formation of chemical bond and no idea about shape of molecule. Okay, that's about Lewis structure. It only helps in writing or drawing the Lewis structures or structure of the molecules, but it fails to explain the formation of chemical bond and shape of the molecule. So the basic idea that shared by Lewis approach about drawing or writing the structure, Lewis structures of molecules. Okay, and it does not explain the formation of chemical bond and no idea about shape of the molecule. Then the second one is VSEPR theory. VSEPR theory gives the geometry of simple molecules, but it has limited applications. To overcome these limitations, the two important theories based on quantum mechanical principles are introduced. These are valence bond theory, that is VB theory, and the next one is molecular orbital theory, MO theory. Okay, so based on the chemical bonding and molecular structure, there are mainly 4 types of theories. Starting from Lewis structure, Lewis structure only helps in drawing the structure of the molecules, but it does not explain the formation of chemical bond. Then no idea about shape of the molecule. Then the second one is VSEPR theory that will explain about the geometry of simple molecules. Okay, but it has also certain limitations. To overcome these limitations, another 2 theories are evolved. They are valence bond theory, that is VB theory, and the next one is molecular orbital theory, that is MO theory. So next we are going to learn about this valence bond theory, VB theory. Okay. Devi Krishna, can you please read the points?
Yes, ma'am. Lewis' approach helps in writing the structure of molecules, but it fails to explain the formation of chemical bond and no idea about shape and molecule. The VSE, but it has limited application. To overcome these limitations, the two important theories based on quantum mechanical principles are introduced. These are valence bond theory and molecular orbit theory.
Okay, molecular orbital theory. In short, it is MO theory and VB theory. Shall I move to first one?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Finished?
Yes. Ma'am.
So next we are moving to VB theory, or otherwise known as valence bond theory. And this valence bond theory, it was introduced by Hitler and London in 1927 and developed further by Pauling and other scientists. Okay, so this valence bond theory or VB theory, it was introduced by Hitler and London in 1927. And further developments, it was conducted by Pauling and other scientists. Okay, do you remember the names of scientists who were introduced this VSEPR theory, children? VSEPR theory. Malavika, do you remember?
Sidgwick and Gillespie.
Sidgwick and Powell, then later
Sidgwick and
Nyholm and Gillespie. Okay. So this VB theory, valence bond theory, was introduced by Hitler and London and developed further by Pauling and other scientists. That is VB theory, valence bond theory. So we will learn this theory with the help of the formation of hydrogen molecule using two hydrogen atoms. Okay. So we know that two hydrogen atoms, they are combined together to form a hydrogen molecule, right? So we learned this valence bond theory based on the formation of this hydrogen molecule. So shall I move to next slide, children?
No.
Okay, okay. Finish, right, Adulya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we are considering two hydrogen atoms. Okay, we know that two hydrogen atoms combine together to form a molecule. So two hydrogen atoms are there. We can name these two hydrogen atoms A and B. Okay, two hydrogen atoms A and B. A and B. So these two hydrogen atoms A and B, they are approaching each other. Okay, so two separate hydrogen atoms, they will approaching each other to form a chemical bond. So each hydrogen atom have a nuclei, right? Each hydrogen atom, they have a nuclei, that is Na. For hydrogen atom A, it is Na, and for hydrogen atom B, it is Nb. And they have respective electrons, right? A has Ea, then B has Eb. So two hydrogen atoms A and B. The nucleus of hydrogen atom A, that is Na, nucleus of hydrogen atom B, that is Nb. Then electron of hydrogen atom A, that is Ea. Then electron of hydrogen atom B, that is Eb. Okay, clear, children? Consider two hydrogen atoms A and B approaching each other having nuclei Na, N is capital, then E is small letter. Okay, N for nucleus, Na and Nb, and electrons present in them are represented by Ea and Eb. Now we are discussing about the different types of forces acting on these two hydrogen atoms. Okay, on the bond formation, there will be different forces already exist in two hydrogen atoms. So now we are going to discuss about the forces exist between or within that atom itself. So first one about the attractive forces. Not only attractive forces, the repulsive forces are there. First we are discussing about the attractive forces. We know that always opposite charges attract each other, right? Opposite charges attract each other, or unlike charges, they will attract each other. That means positive and negative charge, they will attract each other. The same charges or like charges, they will be repel each other. So first we are discussing about attractive force that will be between a positive and negative charge. You have to remember this point. So here the attractive forces arise between nucleus of one atom that is positively charged and its own electron that is negatively charged. That is, an attractive force exists between or arise between NaEA and NbEb because they are opposite charge. Nucleus that is positively charged, electron that is negatively charged. So there will be an attractive force between this Na and Ea, then Nb and Eb. Okay. They are oppositely charged. So there will be an attractive force between nucleus of one atom with the electron of the same atom, the nucleus of second atom with the electron of same atom. Okay, clear? Then the another type of attractive force that will be arise between nucleus of one atom and electron of other atom. That is the nucleus of atom A with electron of atom B. Okay, with same molecule, then with another, with same atom and with another atom also. First one, nucleus of one atom and its own electron. Second one, nucleus of one atom and electron of other atom. So these are the two types of attractive forces arise between the atoms. When they are approaching each other to form a chemical bond, there will be two types of attractive forces. First one is the nucleus of the one atom with the electron of same atom. Second one, nucleus of one atom and the electron of another atom. That can be represented as NaEA, NbEb, then NaEb, NbEa. Clear? So these are the two types of attractive forces arise between atom A and atom B of hydrogen. Clear? So we just consider two hydrogen atoms and labeled as A and B. They are approaching each other to form a chemical bond. So there will be different types of forces arise between these two atoms. First one is attractive force. Attractive force always between opposite charges. So the nucleus of atom with the electron of same atom and different atom will be take place there. Children, please switch on your videos. Aditya, can you please read the points?
Consider two hydrogen atoms A and B approaching each other having nuclei Na and Nb and electrons presenting them are represented by Ea and Eb. The attractive forces arise between nucleus of one atom and its one electron, that is NaEA and NbEb. Nucleus of one atom and electron of other atom, that is NaEb and NbEa.
Okay, NbEa. So these are the two types of attractive forces. Have you completed, children? Adulya, finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we are moving to the next type of force, that is the repulsive forces. Okay. Similarly, the repulsive forces arise between electrons of two atoms. Always repulsive forces will arise between same charges. Okay. So the electrons of different two atoms. Okay. Electrons of two atoms, that is Ea and Eb. There will be a repulsive force arise between the electrons of two atoms Ea and Eb. Then the nuclei of two atoms Na and Nb. First case, that is attractive force that will be between opposite charges, that is nucleus with nucleus and electron. In the repulsive force, it will be with same charges. So between the electrons or between the nucleus. So these are the two types of forces that exist between the two atoms in the formation of hydrogen molecule. And in the case of attractive forces, they have a tendency to bring the two atoms together, right? And this repulsive forces, they have a tendency to separate these two atoms from each other. So the attractive forces tend to bring the two atoms close to each other, whereas repulsive forces tend to push them apart. There are two opposite forces there. First one is attractive force or attraction. The force of attraction, it will bring the two atoms close to each other. And the repulsive forces, it will tend to push them apart. So the two types of opposite forces are acting in the formation of a hydrogen molecule. Okay. Tom Sinton, can you please read the points?
Repulsive forces arise between electrons of two atoms like Ea, Eb, nuclei of two atoms Na with Nb. Attractive forces tend to bring the two atoms close to each other, whereas the repulsive forces tend to push them apart.
Okay. Did you copy the points, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then I will show you the image related to these two types of force. Not finished? Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Here you can see the two types of forces. In the first image, this one is the nucleus of atom A, okay, hydrogen atom A, and this one is the nucleus of hydrogen atom B. And this Ea, that is the electron of hydrogen atom A, then Eb, that's the electron of hydrogen atom B. And this dotted lines, it will represent the old forces, okay? Dotted lines that will represent the old forces. Old forces that between the nucleus and electron of the same atom, okay? Old forces that is between the nucleus and electron of the same atom. Here you can see there will be a attractive force, that is an old force exists between the hydrogen, that is the nucleus of atom B with electron of atom B. Similarly, here also there is one dotted line that's between the electron of atom A with nucleus of atom A. And the bold line that will represent the new type of force. When two atoms A and B, they will approach each other, then new types of force will be evolved, right? New types of force will be generated. That is between the nucleus of atom A with electron of atom B. And similarly, nucleus of atom B with electron of atom A. Okay. So first there will be an attractive force exists between the electron and nucleus of the same atom. Then when they are approaching each other, there will be an attraction between the nucleus of one atom with electron of another atom. That is the first image. So these are the attractive forces between two hydrogen atoms that are labeled as A and B. Clear, children? When they exist as atom itself, before approaching, there will be an attractive force exists between the nucleus of the atom with electron of this atom. Okay, within the molecule, within the atom itself, within atom A, within atom B. When they are approaching each other, there will be an attractive force exists between these two atoms. That means the nucleus of one atom with electron of another atom. Clear? So these are the two types of attractive forces. And again, the second one is about the repulsive forces. Okay, repulsive forces. Repulsive forces always exist with same charges, right? So there will be an repulsive force within the nucleus of atom A and atom B, and there will be a repulsive force exists between electron of atom A and atom B. Okay, clear? And one more thing, here you can see in the case of attractive forces, it can represent like this. They are attracting each other, right? They will tend to bring the two atoms together. And in the case of repulsive forces, it will be represented like this. They are tend to move apart. Okay. Attractive forces, they will bring them together, and this repulsive forces, they will tend or separate them apart from each other. That's the difference between two types of forces. Clear? This is clear, children? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain again?
Sure. So there are two types of forces. Okay, two types of forces: attractive forces and repulsive forces. Attractive forces always with opposite charges. Okay, opposite charges, and repulsive forces, that is with same charges. So the two types of attractive forces between the two hydrogen atom A and B. First one is the nucleus of atom with the electron of same atom. And the second one is nucleus of one atom with the electron of another atom. So these are the two types of attractive forces. So attractive forces always brings the two atoms together. Clear? Then the second one is about repulsive forces. Repulsive forces exist between the same charges. So the nucleus of one atom with the nucleus of another atom, or the electron of one atom with the electron of another atom. These are the two types of forces. And these repulsive forces, they have a tendency to separate the two atoms from each other. So there are two types of forces. They are in opposite action. Attractive forces will bring them together, and repulsive forces, they will separate them from each other. Clear? Then we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
check how this bond formation take place. Two opposite forces are acting on the two atoms. And finally, a stage will be reached. The magnitude of new attractive forces more than the new repulsive forces. I told you there will be attractive force and repulsive force. They are in opposite action. Attractive forces bring them together, then repulsive forces separate them apart from each other. Then the magnitude of new attractive force is more than the new repulsive forces. A stage will be reached when the attractive force is more than the new repulsive force. Then what happens? As a result, the two atoms approach each other and potential energy decreases. When the attractive forces increases, what happens? The two atoms, it will combine together, right? They will approach each other and their potential energy decreases. Potential energy decreases. Then later, a stage is reached where the net force of attraction balances the force of repulsion and the system requires minimum energy. So magnitude of new attractive force will be increases than the repulsive force. The two atoms, they will approach each other and their potential energy decreases. Later, a stage will be reached. The net force of attraction will be equal to the net force of repulsion and the system requires minimum energy. At this stage, two hydrogen atoms are said to be bonded to form a stable molecule having the bond length of 74 picometer. That's in the case of hydrogen molecule. Clear? So there are two types of forces, attractive forces and repulsive forces. Attractive forces, they will bring the two atoms together, and repulsive forces, they will separate each other. And when the magnitude of new attractive force, it is greater than the repulsive forces, the two atoms, they will approaching each other and their potential energy decreases. Then at a stage will be reached when the net force of attraction will be equal to the net force of repulsion. And the system will require minimum amount of energy. At this stage, two hydrogen atoms are said to be bonded to form a stable molecule having the bond length of 74 picometer. That is the bond length of two hydrogen atoms. So that's about the formation of hydrogen molecule using this valence bond theory. This is clear, children? Any doubt? Sarah? This is clear, right?
Now, can you say the third point again?
Third point. Okay, yes. Initially, the magnitude of new attractive forces will increases. At that time, the two atoms will approach each other. Okay. Then a stage will be reached. The force of attraction and force of repulsion will be balance each other. At that time, it will require a minimum amount of energy. Minimum amount of energy means they are stable. Okay. At this stage, two hydrogen atoms will be bonded to form a stable molecule with bond length 74 picometer. Clear? Emmeline, can you please read?
Magnitude of new attractive force is more than the new repulsive force. As a result, two atoms approach each other and the potential energy decreases. A stage is reached where the net force of attraction balance the force of repulsion and the system requires minimum energy. At this stage, two hydrogen atoms are said to be bonded to form a stable molecule having the bond length of 74 picometer.
Okay, 74 picometer. Shall I move to next slide, children? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We are discussing about the energy. Okay. Since the energy is released when the bond is formed between two hydrogen atoms, the hydrogen molecule is more stable than that of isolated hydrogen atoms. So the energy so released is called bond enthalpy. Okay. We have learned about bond enthalpy in the previous topics, right? This is the energy required to break or the breaking the bond or for the formation of bond. If the bond breaks, energy will be supplied, and if bond is formed, this energy will be released. So in this case, the hydrogen molecule is formed from two hydrogen atoms, right? Since energy is released when the bond is formed between two hydrogen atoms, and the hydrogen molecule is more stable than isolated two hydrogen atoms. So the energy so released is called bond enthalpy. That's the minimum amount of energy. Because the molecule is very much stable, that means very less energy is there. Okay. Energy and stability, they are inversely proportional. If there is minimum energy, that means it is more stable. Clear, children? So, since energy is released when the bond is formed between two hydrogen atoms, the hydrogen molecule is more stable than that of isolated hydrogen atoms. The energy so released is called as bond enthalpy. And there is one graph in your textbook, page number 118, figure 4.8. Children, please look at the page number 180, figure 4.8. Here you can see the graph plotted between energy and internuclear distance, right? Energy and internuclear distance. And there is a curve, right? It is decreases, then it increases. So here, this bond formation take place. Have you completed this one? Right. So there is one graph with energy and internuclear distance on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, here it is energy in the y-axis. Here it is internuclear distance. Okay, so the first stage, the two hydrogen atoms, they are not approaching each other. Okay, it's two separate hydrogen atoms. And the next stage, the two hydrogen atoms, they are approaching each other. Okay, approaching each other. That's the second case. Then the third one, they are bonded together. Okay, they are bonded together. So here you can see there is a graph like this, right? Sorry. It will be decreases like this. So when you look at this graph, you can see here the energy of two hydrogen atoms are separate. There is a maximum energy, right? Then it will be decreases and a minimum energy you can plot here near to the bond formation. Okay, so this minimum energy that is known as bond enthalpy here. The energy required to, the energy released on the formation of this two hydrogen atoms. So when these two hydrogen atoms are separate, there will be energy and it will decreases on the formation of these two hydrogen atoms to a hydrogen molecule. Clear, children? So there will be minimum energy. That means the molecule is more stable. Then again it will increases. Okay, so on this molecule, hydrogen molecule, there will be a minimum energy, that is bond enthalpy, and this energy is released. Energy is released. Minimum energy, maximum stability. In the case of two separate hydrogen atoms, there will be more energy but less stability. So energy and stability, they are inversely proportional. Clear? Clear, children? So that's about valence bond theory or VB theory. We just considered two hydrogen atoms. There are two types of forces acting between the two hydrogen atoms. Attractive forces, the repulsive forces. The attractive forces, this between the hydrogen, nucleus of one hydrogen with its own electron. Then the nucleus of one hydrogen with the electron of another atom, right? And the repulsive forces, it is always between the two electrons and two hydrogen of atom A and B. Two nucleus and two electron of two hydrogen atoms. And magnitude of attractive forces will be greater than the magnitude of repulsive forces. The two atoms will approach each other. Okay. Then at a stage will be reached when the repulsive forces and attractive forces balance each other. Then the bond formation will take place with potential energy at its minimum. So the maximum stability, minimum energy on the formation of hydrogen molecule. That's about the formation of hydrogen molecule using valence bond theory. This is clear, children? Any doubt? Do you want to repeat any points again? Tell me yes or no. This is clear for you?
Yes.
Yes, right? So that's about the valence bond theory. Next, before moving to molecular orbital theory, there are some topics that is related to orbital overlap concept, hybridization, etc. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about orbital overlap concept. Okay, orbital overlap concept. What's the meaning of overlapping? Overlap. We are placing one above the other, right? That is overlapping, right? Then what about orbital? Which are the orbitals that we have learned? John?
SPDF.
Yes, S, P, D, F. These are the orbitals, right? So here we are going to learn about the overlapping of these type of orbitals. Okay, so you can write the heading orbital overlap concept. Orbital overlap concept. In the formation of hydrogen molecule, there is minimum energy state when two hydrogen atoms are so near that their atomic orbitals undergo partial interpenetration. We just mentioned in the last point, when the two hydrogen atoms approach each other, there will be a minimum energy and they are forming bond. How their bonding take place or how the bond formation take place, that's through the partial interpenetration of atomic orbitals or the overlapping of atomic orbitals. This partial merging of atomic orbitals is called overlapping of atomic orbitals. Okay, when the two hydrogen atoms approaching each other, we have learned that there will be a bond formed between these two hydrogen atoms, right? So this bond formation, it will take place through the partial interpenetration or the partial merging. That means one will be overlapped with other. Okay, one hydrogen atom, it will be overlapped or the partial interpenetration take place between these two hydrogen atoms. So this partial merging of atomic orbitals is called overlapping of atomic orbitals. Okay, we will learn more detail about this overlapping. Now you just understood that when the two hydrogen atoms, they are approaching each other and the bond formation take place, that means it will take place through the partial interpenetration or partial merging of the atomic orbitals of hydrogen atom. It is known as overlapping of atomic orbitals. And in general, greater the overlap, the stronger is the bond formed between two atoms. So this overlapping, it will directly proportional to the strength of the bond. How much greater the overlap between the two atoms, that much stronger will be the bond formed between two atoms. Clear? And the formation of hydrogen molecule, there is a minimum energy state when two hydrogen atoms are so near that their atomic orbitals undergo partial interpenetration. That is the bond formation take place there. This partial merging of atomic orbitals is called overlapping of atomic orbitals. And in general, greater the overlap, the stronger is the bond formed between two atoms. So the next concept, that is overlapping of atomic orbitals or orbital overlap concept. So for learning this orbital overlap concept, you have to remember or you have to recall the shapes of different orbitals, mainly S and P. Do you remember what about the shape of S orbital, children? We have learned it in chapter 2, right?
Spherical.
Yeah, spherical shape. And what about P orbital?
Dumbbell.
Dumbbell shape, right? S orbital, spherical shape. P orbital, dumbbell shape. So these shapes of orbitals are also considered in orbital overlap concept. Then we can also learn which are the orbitals present in each atom. In the case of hydrogen atom, its atomic number is 1. So its configuration is 1s1. So which orbital will be involved in the bonding? Yeah.
Ma'am, S.
S orbital, right? If it is in the case of carbon, its atomic number is 6. So we can write the configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? So which orbital will be involved in the bonding? Which is the outermost?
P.
P.
Yeah.
But in the outermost shell, there is S also, right? It will depend upon which atom to which this carbon atom will be joined. Okay. So have you completed the slide, children? All of you? Yes. Then we can discuss the remaining things in the next class about the different types of overlapping. So you have to just remember the point. In the formation of a hydrogen molecule, when two atoms they are approaching each other, it means that partial interpenetration or the partial merging of two atoms take place. That is known as overlapping of atomic orbitals. So for this overlapping, you have to learn the shapes of atomic orbitals and the different atomic orbitals involved in each atom. Okay, clear? Okay, then we can discuss the remaining things tomorrow. Just wait, let me take your attendance.